So what they did is they started looking at their own bodies, and they said, well, you know what? This the spot between my elbow and my finger, that's pretty much the same everywhere we go in the world. So we'll just use that. And this became the standard in which you measured your trade in. You would measure, how many lengths between my elbow and my finger were we actually trading here. And this was as close as you could get at a universal metric system to conduct trade in a fair manner across systems which had totally incompatible metric systems between one another. And plus it was intuitive and it was hard to skimp on. You couldn't just like grow your arm. It wasn't actually a thing you could do. So this worked for a long time. And of course, the qubit, which is you'll see actually in the Bible as well being mentioned there. And something interesting about this is that in addition to this being the source of accounting, this counting naturally leads to mathematics. In fact, that bone is called the radius. And these two things, we start to see that, oh, okay, there's a variableness between the humerus and the radius. Well, it looks like that. Well, oh my God, we figured out some basic geometry using our arm, and we're incentivized to do so because we're already using this part of our arm for trade. So now we start to see that there's a relationship between these lines because we're just doing all of our trade here all the time anyway. And there's a reason that bone, the radius, is the radius here in mathematics as well. This is the origin of the etymology. You're watching the origin of mathematics being born. See, the radius is right there. Now, where do we get the orthogonality from here? Because this is pretty variable stuff. This is the radius could be anywhere in the circle, but just like the arm could be anywhere within reason. It's not like I can bend it this way and break myself. But for the most part, the idea that it was adjustable was a concept. So where do we get to orthogonality? Meaning, where do we get to intersecting lines or right angles? Well, again, put ourselves in psychohistory.